Hey, what's up, Dividend Nomads? Welcome back to the channel. I thought I was being smart by buying a bunch of high yield stocks and ETFs, chasing income, but instead, I built like a fragile, confusing mess of a portfolio, and it barely paid me anything. And today, I want to walk you through some of my mistakes that I made when it comes to high yield dividend investing so you don't waste time like I did. So, let's get on into it. Mistake number one was going to be over diversifying with too little capital. Like when I had like $2,000, I bought like 20 different stocks, and it's like 1%, little tiny 1% position in each position in your portfolio. And I thought, no, this is diversified, but it's really just a bunch of noise. There's like no impact, no focus, no strategy. It's just a bunch of mess and didn't pay anything. And what I've learned was instead of doing that was to focus on maybe 3 to 5 high quality ETFs when you have a small portfolio size. Think about it. Like the investing god, Warren Buffett, he's got like 1 or 200 billion dollars in assets. He's look at his portfolio. He's got like 20 stocks. He's got like $200 billion in only 20 different stocks. And then here you are with $2,000 with 20 different stocks. You're not Warren Buffett, right? You don't just because Warren Buffett has 20 stocks don't mean you need 20 stocks. The guy's got $200 billion. All right, you got $2,000 or $20,000. You don't need 20 stocks with $20,000. It's a big, big mistake by over diversifying too early. Now, my second mistake was going to be having too many single stock ETFs. Like, when I first started out, there wasn't a lot of stuff available either, but, I had Misty and Coney and Tesla and Nvidia, just ones that everybody buys because the yield was super high. And I thought, okay, these are all gonna, do really well. And then they started switching up the pay schedules. You get paid every week, and you're thinking like, this is even better now. Things are great. But when you have so many single stock ETFs, it's very, very volatile and very hard to live off of. Like there's days when I open my portfolio and the market was green, market's on fire, and my portfolio is down because I own one stock. It's not an index, and my stock maybe had some bad news, and it's just falling like a rock, and everything else is going up. And that's the reality of when you own a single stock. You can have extreme downside when the market's going up. And maybe it could be vice versa as well, but because of that volatility, it makes it very, very hard to have some stability that you can actually live off of. And that's the whole point of investing in income. You want income so you can use it, right? So you can spend it, so you can live off of it. And it's really hard to do that when you don't know how much income you're going to get because the stock is so volatile. You might get $4 this month, you might get $1.20 next month, then you might get 10 cents the next month. Who the hell knows? And it's just crazy. But if you have a higher quality index-based ETF, then you follow the market, you do what the market does, and it usually pays you a very stable, reliable income that you can pretty much bank on. I know about how much I'm going to get. I might be off by a couple dollars, but not very far off. And you can budget and plan your life much better if you have something more stable like that in your portfolio. So the lesson that I learned and what I do is just choose one or two single stock ETFs that have a really high yield to boost your portfolio, but don't let it be the majority of your portfolio because it makes it too volatile. So this I guess the fix or my system, my current strategy is just basically I have a simple rule. If my portfolio is $100,000 or less, I do not own more than 5 to maybe 7 assets. Usually it's like 3 to 5 index-based ETFs, like based on the S&P or the NASDAQ or something like that, right? Some index. And then maybe 1 or 2 single stock super high yield payers to really boost the portfolio a little bit and have an extra chance of getting, a larger amount of income, but without the volatility that's going to just wipe the portfolio out and drag it down, right? So, also, yeah, if you're curious about, my portfolio, I break it down every week in a video, and it's also put it into my weekly newsletter that I send out on Sunday, 100% for free. If you want to get it, link below. You can sign up for newsletter. Also give you a free dividend tracker with it, so you can go do that if you want. And then lastly, I guess I'll give you a bonus mistake, and that's kind of ignoring total return or growth and like not really tracking your portfolio. So like another trap that I fell into was like just chasing the yield and just really ignoring everything else. Just like looking at the money, right? Like I'm getting paid, but wasn't really looking at nothing else. And some of the ETFs I had really just bled my capital. And I had to put all the money back to keep the portfolio to even stay close to stable, right? And I couldn't use that money. And so have to be very careful about that. So the lesson I learned and what I started doing was actually tracking the portfolio, tracking the dividend, tracking everything very meticulously with the spreadsheet. Like I said, it's in the thing below, but I went back in time, checked out all my dividends that I received and all that stuff and plugged them into the spreadsheet. And then I could really see what my portfolio was doing. I could see how much of my capital was bleeding, how much it was just getting away from me, and how bad a shape that the portfolio was really in. And then once I started to see that and I started to cut those things away out of my portfolio, start to restructure the portfolio, I started to notice more of a positive change and slowly starting getting back to following the market, doing what the market does, and moving in a positive direction while still earning money. So that's going to be one of the really big takeaways, is just make sure you're tracking everything. Don't just look and be like, oh, I got paid $500 this week and then next week and blah, blah. And then next thing you know, like you just think, okay, I've made enough money, but you really haven't made any money. You may have made 1 or 2%, where you could have been in something else. You could have made, 10 or 15 or 20 or 30%. You don't really know because you're not tracking to see what your plays are actually doing. So that's a huge mistake that a lot of people are making. They just write down, I got paid this much, that much, this much, but they don't keep track of everything as far as total return percentage and how much they actually made with the price decline, everything included, right? Then you need to know all the information in order to get an accurate assessment of what your portfolio is really doing. So that's all I got for you guys today. Love to hear from you in the comments below. Let me know what you think about this. And have you made any mistakes on your journey of investing in high yield dividends? I would love to hear what they are, and I'd love to hear your remedy for fixing them. Let me know that in the comments below. Also, don't forget, check out the links below, grab the spreadsheet and all that stuff for free, and see you guys on the next video. Take care.